by Me, and she talks about women's empowerment. I won't go into it a lot because she's going to tell you about it. But if you would please help me welcome Valerie.
So officially, hello ladies.
Hello.
I'm so thrilled to actually be here. I just been talking like forever.
I know, that's too long. We can't do that.
Yeah, we can't do that. I'm a dear friend, and I'm so grateful that she reached out to me and invited me to this and asked me to kind of share a little bit about my blog. So this is fairly new for me. As you can see, I am defined by me. And I started it in June of last year, 2016. And it's a self-empowerment blog. It's about my mission to try to help women define ourselves for ourselves. For so long, we have been in a state of where we let society, we let the media, we let friends, we let families define who we are. And we get to this age in life and we don't even really think we know who we are, but we really don't, right? And then we're struggling, trying to figure it out. And we are realizing that we don't have the confidence that we really thought that we probably did because we let so many people define it for us. So what I did was I decided, well, I need to help figure it out for myself. So if I need to help, probably there's other women that need the help as well. And so I started writing, and I never thought myself to be a writer. You would have never guessed that I'd be a writer. I'm actually a creative person. I do graphic design. That's always been my thing, fashion and stuff like that. But then I started writing, and I started sharing my experiences. And I said, Lord, I said, what do you want me to do? Like, passion and purpose has always been something that I've been looking for throughout my life. I don't know if any of you have ever kind of just trying to discover, what's my purpose? Why am I here? What did you create me for? So for most of my adult life, that has been my quest, on and off, thinking it was tied to some sort of creative thing, because that's what I did naturally. And so as I continued to ask God for that quest, I got to a point in life where he just kind of showed me, share your experience. And so thus came a blog. I said, well, what's the easiest way for me to kind of share my experience? Not necessarily outside of social media. We can Facebook all day and Instagram all day, which is what I do. But I wanted to do something more in depth. And so I started a blog. Part of my creative thing is I can figure out how to do some basic websites. I'm not doing anybody's website though. Work that out. I'll create your logo for you all day long, but I ain't putting it on the website. And so I just started to talk about my experience and what I was going through in life and what I learned from it, what I learned about myself, how that experience helped me to define who I was. And I just kept doing it and kept doing it. And it got to a point where I felt like I was learning more about myself as well as helping others to learn more about them. Because we all have shared experiences, right? Mm-hmm. We get to a point where we feel like we're all alone, but really we're not. Right? Something I've gone through is probably something you've gone through or something similar. And we keep it to ourselves. But I'm always a big believer that our lives are not our own. They're for others to learn and grow from as well. So stepping out there and being very vulnerable and sharing my life experiences in a public setting is what I chose to do. And it's been very helpful for me. I'm a self-help guru. I don't know if anybody else is a self-help guru. I read the books all day long and, just wanted to really share that experience. And through that, I've been able to connect more with God, which He's able to show me more about where He wants me to go as far as purpose and gifts, passion, and things like that. And so my goal for 2017 really is to kind of expand it, to expand my reach, be able to touch more people, to expand and make my content more in depth. I'll tell you about anything that's going on with me all day long, right? Because I'm just that person that I don't really, there's very few things I would say that I keep really deep and personal to me. It's usually stuff that is affected to somebody else. But I'll be an open book to you to share. And just encourage and help women to believe in themselves. I brought my kids today. These are two of my three, Kayla and Trinity, my 15, 16-year-old girls, because I wanted them to be amongst other women that share in a desire to create a vision for themselves. And then to start early as well. That's why I'm so glad we're doing the vision boards. I have a couple vision boards. My kids and I just did a vision board project. I have a Good Jar project that I was doing for 2017 as well. So thank you, Sandra, for. I've never heard of a vision party before.
Really?
No. So you've introduced me to something new. Yes. So this is great, and maybe we can continue to kind of spread it. You know, as you've taught us and showed us how to do one, we can do one for our friends and so on and so forth. So as I said, I'm an open book. Is there anybody that has any questions about how I started, what's motivating me, where I want to go, how can I help you guys?
How can you help us?
Well, one of the series that I did just recently on my blog, it was I did a series on purpose, gift, and spiritual practice, right? And what it talks about is defining what purpose is, defining what your gift is, and defining what your spiritual practice are. Because they're all three different things, but they work together. I'm not going to spoil it to you because I'm going to make sure everybody goes read my blog. But overall, just give you one tip. Purpose to me is not as big as we always think it is. Purpose is simply put to help others. That's what God put us on this earth to do. And when you strip it all away, we're just here to help others. Now, how you do it and through what avenue you do it is different for each and every one of us. So that's where the real challenge is. There's a quote that says, life, the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. And so the meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. So that's by Picasso. So that's really what it is about, is finding your gift, not necessarily finding your purpose, because we already know what the purpose is. The purpose is to help others. It doesn't have to be on a grandiose scale, which I always think, like, well, I gotta be like Oprah, or, you get a car, you get a car. Right. You know, I'm not doing that, then I'm not fulfilling my purpose. No, some fulfill their purpose today just by helping us figure out our vision. You know? And I don't know how many of us are in here today, but it's no too small amount of people or too large of people. You helping us to figure that out. You could be the next Oprah. And it could have started from here for all we know. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main part. And the hardest part is figuring out what is your actual gift. And so I'm not going to spoil it. You're going to have to read my blog. Figure that out. And then spiritual practice is another element to it as well.
I have a question. So what was it? Was there a triggering event that occurred in your life that, was it your question? Okay, that made you want to start this blog?
Yeah, so I was at my last job. I was in a supervisor role, and I was miserable. I was an admin supervisor. I supervised a team of, like, I think 8 or 9 people at the time. And the ladies and one man that I had made my life a living hell. They were fighting against me so bad, it was terrible, you know, and I just was in a miserable state. Personally, I was in a relationship that I was not being fulfilled. It wasn't a bad relationship, but it wasn't a fulfilling relationship. And I was financially okay, you know, I was okay. I could pay the bills, you know, and so, but I just really wasn't overall happy with my life. And I was still searching for what's my purpose, you know. I didn't feel like I was making an impact on anyone, or I was trying to, but the people I was trying to make an impact on were fighting against me, so that wasn't making me happy. So I read this book. It's called You Are Badass. And I was at a point, let me back a second. I was at a point where I felt like, you know what, Lord, I think maybe I need to sit down with someone, I need to talk to someone, I need some therapy, because I was like in a dark place. And so it was funny, you play by play. I remember it vividly. I was online at work, and I was like, oh, my job, you know, they have great insurance. I work for Aflac. So I have great insurance. I can go on here, and I can find a therapist where people tell you can go on. And the site wouldn't work. I tried it like 3 times, and it kept telling me, and now I'm on the network at work. So I'm like, it's bound to work. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't pull up for nothing. So while I'm waiting for the site to, you know, to try time number 4, I said, let me just go on over here to Barnes & Noble's website. I'm just looking through book. And this book popped up on the page, You Are Badass. I forget the subtitle of it. It's how to, I'll tell you about it, but it's in one of my blogs. But, And so I said, you know what? It's a bright yellow book too. I said, you know, I'm gonna go get that book. It sounds good. So I went to the store that day and I went and I bought that book. That book changed my life. I recommend. I bought it for so many different people and had them read it. And it's with the subtitle is like how to unleash your greatness and live an awesome life. And so it's very simply written because I don't like big words. I don't like a whole lot of big descriptive, storyline. It's really simple. She even cussed in the book. That's all right.
She's for real.
She's for real.
Exactly.
First little intro, she's cussing in the book. And it just simply talked about various areas in which we need to focus on to be able to believe in ourselves, have confidence. It talks about the law of attraction. I'm a believer in the law of attraction, what we put out there, what we think about, what we focus on, how we attract that into our lives. Talks a little bit about from a spiritual aspect, talks a little bit about from a financial aspect of things. And one of the things that she said in there was she was talking about, in order for any of this to happen, you have to have a connection with God. You can call it whatever you want to call it. You can Jehovah, whatever you want to call him, you can call him. But you're going to have some sort of that connection, that relationship. Whatever you define it as, whatever level you have it on, you have to have that. And so in conjunction with reading that book, I started meditating. Now meditation is hard. I'm not going to even lie. I've tried it many times. I'm like, I don't feel like this is working. But I committed to it. And so what I said I was going to do, I was going to spend the first at least 10 minutes of every single day before I step my feet out the bed. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to either talk to God, I'm going to listen to God, I'm going to give my attention to God. And that's what I did. This was August of 2015. And I've been doing it every day. Every day. I think I missed one day. My grandson was up. He was up at like early and I couldn't get to it. But yeah, I do have a grandson. Yeah, but every single day. And it doesn't necessarily, it's not always something, super spiritual, moment. Sometimes I'm just, talking to him about how I feel. Sometimes my mind's drifting off on various different things. Sometimes I really do hear from him. But over the time, I've been able to actually learn what his voice sounds like to me. And when he's giving direction versus when my mind's just running off. And things have started opening up. And as a result of that, he showed me this. This is what he showed me. Because I was like, I want to be able to use my creativity because that's what I'm good at, to be able to help others. How can I do that? That was my prayer. And this is what he showed me. And so, I created this logo. And from there, I was like, okay, where are we going next? And so that's when it led to, okay, I want you to start writing. And that's what he still tells me to this day. I want you to start writing. Just keep writing. I was like, what am I going to do next? Just keep writing. Just keep writing. And so that's what I keep doing. I don't have the big vision. I'll be honest with you. I don't have the big vision far off in the land of like, I'm going to be just grandiose. So other than one day I am going to sit down with Oprah and we're going to talk. Yes. I love Super Soul Sunday. Anybody watch Super Soul Sunday? Yes. That is my church. That is my church. And so one day I will, it may not be called Super Soul Sunday by the time I get there, but one day me and Oprah, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about this. All right. And so, and I just take it step by step every day. It's something, he's going to show me something different, and sometimes it's not. And I just keep doing what I'm doing now until he shows me something different. But that's the key. That is important. I tell anybody that we talk about vision for life. He's the one with the vision. He's the one with the vision. And you can't see your vision unless you tap in. Just plain and simple. Did I answer your question? Yes, you did. All right. Any other questions? Lady? All right. Well, I have cards. Everybody's going to commit to at least look at my blog, right? They're going to read about purpose, the gift, and their spiritual practice, right? And I would love for you to subscribe. And if you have any ideas, y'all already have some.
We'll pass it around the table.
Okay. If you guys have any ideas, I would love feedback, because like I said, I don't have the big picture. So if there's any topics that you think, this would be great for you to share about, talk about, please do share with me. If you have any questions,
I have a question, Valerie. I have a question about your design.
Mm-hmm.
I know you said that it was given to you.
Mm-hmm.
So when I looked at it, I saw my interpretation of it. But what do you see from your interpretation of it? when you received it and when it was formalized?
Well, my interpretation of it was, it's really about I am.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about I am. So, like on the back of this one, this particular shirt, now I sell the shirts, I have this with just the I am. But on the back of this one, it has I am beautiful. And so that came along with it, is taking keywords. I have I'm beautiful, I'm confident, I'm strong, and I'm loved, and creating a definition for that. Now, my definition of what I am beautiful is mine, right? But you can create yours for you. And so that's what I am. It started with the I am. You know, I am fill in the blank. And so then I created the defined by me portion of it. But it really started with I am, and that's how I saw it as in defining.
I love the circle. When I saw it, it made me think about that the circle never ends. I'm continuously giving. And so I think it's a badass logo.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And one of the words I like to use a lot is sharing. And I thought about this, I think it's actually this morning in my meditation, was that sharing is one of those words that it connects us, right? You know, giving sometimes means I relinquished it and I gave it to you, but sharing connects us still. Like, for example, we can share a blanket, right? I still got my feet on the blanket, you got your feet on the blanket, we're in it together. You know, I can share, you tell kids that when they're young, you need to learn how to share, right? So that doesn't mean I'm giving you my toy and you can go home with it and I don't have it anymore, you know? It means that we're both partaking in this thing. And so that's what this is about also for me, is sharing. That's why I share my personal experiences. And almost every blog that I've written, I try to share personal experience. Because I'm taking what's a part of me and I'm giving it to you as well so that we can both learn and grow from it. Hopefully, what I'm glad about this is I don't have one that's specific, a vision board that's specific to I am defining. I have a personal one, I have a love and relationship one, I have a 2017 one, but I don't have one that's specific